Hey, Zach here from Frontenac Outfitters Canoe and Kayak Center. Today we're talking SUP. We're looking at this is a mouthful, the Level 6 12.6 touring board. This is a family of touring boards. They have 3 different sizes. There's an 11.6, there's the 12.6, and there's also a 14-foot board available. So let's have a closer look at some of the features going on. So this is what we would class as an epoxy board. It's a multi-layer fiberglass board using fiberglass, a foam core, and then resin or epoxy to seal it all together to give you that nice hard finish. So it's gonna be, overall, it's gonna be fairly durable. You know, with all glass boards or epoxy boards, you wanna be careful with them. They don't do well with rocks, even though, you know, they are fairly durable, but you certainly don't want to be smashing them into things. Starting at the bow here, we'll look at, you know, how they designed this guy here. You'll notice it's got a nice big arrow shape to it, has that displacement hull, meaning it's not flat. It has a bit of curvature, especially noticeable up here on the bow. It does flatten out a little bit more towards the stern, but what this is gonna do is gonna keep it flat in the water. It's gonna punch through any chop or current, and it's gonna help with tracking. Not so much with maneuverability, but that's not necessarily what we're looking for when we're looking at a touring board. We're looking at fitness, we're looking at touring, we're looking at putting on miles as opposed to going out and surfing the local break that day. So as we come back here, we've got some nice graphics. It has the wood inlay in here. They've done a great job of it. You can see the stringer that runs all the way down through the middle. What that stringer does is just provide support and strength into the board. So really important when we're looking at epoxy boards and glass boards that they have a good quality string in there, be it carbon or some other material. We just want to make sure that it's integrated in there. Coming back, we've got our full deck pad, which is great, super comfortable, helps, you know, give some traction as well, so reduce fatigue on the feet, so you're not, you know, having to grip onto a slippery board or like a more surfboard style that you've just waxed or whatever. This is going to work really well in that sense. It comes pre-installed with some bungee on here. You can, you know, mess around with that. There's also grommets at the back of the board so that you could, you know, set up a secondary bungee system or some other lashing type system if you are actually going to go out and tour on this board. Believe it or not, it is a thing that people do. They will load up these boards with camping gear and go out and SUP for 2, 3, 4 days or more. I haven't done it personally. Looks like a lot of fun. I would probably use a slightly bigger board myself, but this board is good for someone up to about 230 pounds, and we can get into the specs on that in a little bit. Here in the center, we've got our relief valve, so this is going to allow the board to breathe. So really important that you don't, you know, cover that up with anything. You don't have to do anything with it. You used to have to kind of manipulate the valve to make sure that the pressure were equalizing, but they've all gone to this self-equalizing valve now, and what that does is basically lets the board breathe so it won't overpressurize in the summertime or create like a vacuum in the colder weather. Here we've got a nice center handle grip, so you can just pick that board up. There's also a lash tab in here, so we can use that to attach our leash. Not a whole lot of difference here. We've got a nice taper into the board, squared off end. Again, that's just going to help with tracking and speed and performance. Multi-lash positions here, again, so we can attach bungee, or we could attach a ankle leash to a different part of the board if we wanted to have it further back. Oftentimes when I'm using a leash, I'll attach it to the rear here. Just gives me I find a little bit more maneuverability and comfort for myself on the board. The rails on the side here, we're looking at about 6.5 inches. I think this board has a total of about 240 liters, and that's an important number when we're looking at sizing boards for people properly. Oh, just a quick look on the underside here. Again, probably really hard to tell on the camera just because it's all fairly white on the bow. You can see that displacement works. It really, you know, kind of almost a shallow V like you'd find on a kayak or a canoe bow, and then slowly tapers into this flat section here, which is going to provide a lot of stability. This guy's like 31 inches wide, so it's a nice wide platform without being crazy wide, but it's going to give us a lot of stability, especially in that 180 to 200 pound range. If we're new to SUP, this is going to give you a lot of flotation. It's going to feel really, really comfortable and give you a lot of confidence if this is your first board. Sneaking down to the back here, really nice graphics on here. It's using a matte finish, which is, I think it looks great. You know, it hides the scratches well. It does tend to show marks a little bit more, like just, you know, where your paddle bumps it and stuff. You might get a little black mark on there, but honestly, it wears really, really well. And this is our fin box here, and I'll show you the fin that comes with this guy. So fins are super easy to install. This is a pretty standard 9-inch Manta fin. It's the Manta Ray fin, or a touring fin, so it's kind of got this squared off section. They call this a weedless one. Ideally, the weeds are going to shed off of it. The specs on the level 6 12.6, as you can guess, this guy's 12 feet 6 inches long. It's 31 inches wide and about 6.5 inches deep, giving us a rough volume of about, I think it's 244 liters. This would be good for a rider weight up to about 230 pounds. We've had bigger paddlers on it. They seem to do okay, but as you start to sink the board more and more, it's becoming less and less stable, so keeping in that range is going to be most ideal. If you're bigger, I would look at the 14 foot. It's one of my favorite boards. Just having that extra length makes the glide and the efficiency of the board really, really good. Overall, I think the 12.6 is an awesome entry-level paddleboard. Weighs about 33 pounds, making it easy to pick up, maneuver, get on top of your vehicle, and it's, you know, not a huge size to kind of muster around and store and just, you know, have that kind of awkwardness that longer boards will have. If you're interested in trying one out, you can come see us here at the store. For more information, you can have a look at this at frontnacoutfitters.com, send us an email, or give us a call. As always, thanks a lot for watching.